Why can't we have anything? Why can't I watch a simple game of football on the weekend without being put through a roller coaster of emotions? Why? I just want to wake up on a Saturday early morning, 12:30 kickoff, and enjoy my team play football at home. But Tottenham Hotspur are determined every week to say, hey, if you think you can enjoy, brace yourself, strap in, suit up and lace your boots up. It's wartime. Every week, nothing can ever be done simple around here. Nothing can ever be done simple around here. Tottenham 2, Manchester United 2, and this is now another home game Spurs have not won this season. That is now one home win for the season. Do you know when that home win came? Opening day of the season against Burnley. Since then, lost to Bournemouth, lost to Aston Villa, drew at home to the worst Wolves side in Premier League history, lost to Chelsea embarrassingly, and couldn't even hold on to the lead in this game despite making a comeback. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Tottenham Hotspur. What an institution, brother. What a game as well, man. That's one of those frustrating games, man, honestly, because first half, brother, coming into this game even, I'm thinking, we beat these lot 4 times last season. I know it was under Ange, I know it was a different era, but if there's one thing we've shown is we've got these lots number at the moment. Let's come into this and make it comfortable for ourselves. Let's not make this a long, arduous affair. Because we saw midweek against Copenhagen, I said, hold on, Frank might have unlocked something. He's realised the importance of the left-hand side and having Udogie there. He's realised you don't need to go into every game with a Palhinha and Bentancur double pivot. And we didn't see that today. I was like, Palhinha, is that Sarr next to him? Hold on, what? What's going on here? So I thought, hey, maybe we'd learned stuff from midweek where it's like, you know what? Kolo Muani starting up front today. Said we might be a little bit more fluid. Boy, was I wrong. Because that first half... that first half was painful, brother. Why do we look so scared playing at home? This is what I don't get. This is where you're meant to have your home fan base. This is where you're supposed to feel comfortable. In your own house. Put your feet up. Put your comfort clothes on. Relax. Let the opposition come in and be like, hey, watch out for the furniture. But instead we're like, nah. We act like guests in our own house. We play scared. We play anxious. Like, are these people against us? It doesn't make sense, honestly. Like, I remember at the end of the first half, there was a graphic stat that came up at the bottom that said, Lemons had more touches in the first half than our entire front line. Take that in. Their goalkeeper had more touches at our ground than our very own front line. I said, why? We are in trouble. And in all honesty, they deserve that lead. Because in the first half, we looked like absolute dog shit. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I'm sorry. But what I will say, the response in the second half. Because the way we came out, I don't know whether these man... Because sometimes in the 12:30 kickoffs, I always say there's a little bit of cobwebs. The cobwebs from a Friday night, an early morning, whatever. You're being made to eat pasta at like 10 a.m. It's difficult. Running around with that linguine still sloshing about in your stomach. I understand. It could take a little while to get the groove going. But in that second half, these men went inside and took their caffeine tablets, caffeine pouches, whatever these men are taking these days. And it was much better. The energy, the press. And I was like, hold on. There might still be something in this. And credit to, what's his name? Matthias Tell. I really want to give my hats off to him today. Because when he came on, I felt like he made a difference. And it was twofold. Because it was Casemiro going off on their side, and it was also Tel coming off on our side. When Casemiro went off, because Casemiro was having a good game, I can't lie. He was putting a stop to that midfield. Xavi Simons weren't having much fun. Again, today we saw a much more quieter game from him. But I thought, if Ugarte's coming on, this gives us a little bit of hope that we can gain a bit of control in that midfield. We can start maybe creating 1 or 2 chances. And that's actually what started to happen. We started to get on the ball a little bit more. We started to create and prod a little bit more. And Odegaard as well. Listen, he has been incredible over the last couple of weeks. I can't lie. I really enjoyed his performance against Copenhagen. I like the link-up that he had with Udogie, with Xavi on that left-hand side. I said, you know what? There's something there that we can potentially build on. However, today when him and Tel came on, I thought massive differences when they came on. The technical ability just went up. The technical floor of this team just went up. And you saw that Tel, the touch and the finish, it's like he's playing with 100% confidence. And I'm like, he shouldn't be, because he's barely played the last couple of weeks. Despite scoring a couple of weeks back when I thought, that's a great goal. Because remember that finish as well. Move it past the striker, hit it across the face of goal. It was a lovely finish. And you thought, you know what, he can maybe use this to kick on. He's not even registered for the Champions League squad. In the league instead, I'm having to deal with, I'm going to get to him in a second, but I'm having to deal with this other guy playing every week in, week out, because the manager's got a bondage with him. But Tel today, I hope the manager saw that, hey, there might be a player there. Because that touch, that finish, that was elite, in my opinion. And he could have even had a second shortly after. But we should have had a second. Because when Richarlison gets the ball, when Birdman gets the ball, and he decides to play Brennan Johnson in front of him, because all he can see is the 3 yards in front of him, and everyone in the stadium, everyone at home is screaming to him, Odegaard is wide open there, brother. Please engage your fucking brain and play one more pass. Rather than play the man who is clearly 5 yards offside. And I said, hey man, I can't lie to you. It was tough watching Richarlison today. It was tough watching Richarlison today. I know he got the equalizer at the end. Can I just caveat as well? Please stop taking your shirt off. This is now becoming like a jinx at this point. I remember, was it the last time he did it was against Liverpool? Jota goes up the other end and scores straight away. We lose the game. And then today it's like, hey, deflected. I know people want to say, he flicked his head on whatever. I'm like, bro, if he was in an offside position, he was lucky the United defender was there. Because otherwise that goal would have been disallowed for an offside. Odegaard's shot was perfect. It was curling into the top corner. I said, hey, let Odegaard get his. You already denied him one opportunity. But he gets the deflection, rips his shirt off. I'm thinking, you know what? You're going to do that typical thing of covering up a Hall of Shame performance with the winning goal. And you know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Let's go, Birdman. Let's go. But we could not even hold on to that. Last second set piece and just De Ligt floating to the back post. And you know what? I actually feel like weirdly De Ligt deserves this for the season that he's kind of had. He's been immense, I can't lie to you. But to just go through that kind of roller coaster of emotion where the first half you are so bad. The second half you finally wake up. Your substitution comes on, makes an impact. The guy who's having an absolute stinker all game all of a sudden snatches the winner at the end. You're thinking, scenes. And then we just show once again at home, we just cannot hold on to it. We show once again at home, we cannot finish the job. And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating, honestly, because I feel like it's almost like a deserved result for both teams in a weird way. Like United had control in the first half. They could have got away with it. They didn't. They let us get back into it and we somehow made it a game. But then we also didn't play well enough to really walk away with all 3 points. So it's a case of, in all honesty, I think this result is a fair result. I actually think both teams deserve a point. Nobody deserves to walk away the winners here. I felt like had we won that with the Richarlison goal, honestly, I was like, yo, we scammed the win. But I'll take it. And you'll always take the 3 points. But in terms of like performances, it's really got to improve, honestly. Like, we need to see a bit more of what we saw in the second half consistently in the first half. And today, I'll be honest with you, like some of the individual performances as well, some were good. Like Mickey van der Ven, I thought, was incredible today, honestly. That recovery tackle in the second half on Benjamin Sesko when he was through in on goal, wow. That is what I always talk about with Mickey van der Ven being the ultimate insurance policy. Literally. You can be clear on goal, but I always know there's a chance as long as I have Mickey van der Ven in the side. I thought Pape Sarr really poor today. Definitely responsible for that first goal as well. I know there was a lot of miscommunication, poor clearances, one bad decision after the other, but it was him at the root of it, in my opinion. I thought today was another example of why Udogie needs to start no matter what on that left-hand side. I love Jed Spence, and I love, how much of a player he has become for us, how important he is as well, being able to cover both positions. However, I do think he needs to be on the right-hand side. Whether that's competing with Porro, who didn't have the greatest game today as well. But on that left-hand side, I just feel like he's a little bit limited. Not using his left at all. Never really goes on the outside. Everything's always coming inside and trying to play it, through the middle. And it just becomes a little bit predictable. And when I saw the starting lineup of the left-hand side being Richarlison in at left wing and Jed Spence at left back, you already know you're already limiting yourself. So we fixed the striker problem with putting Kolo Muani there. We fixed the midfield problem by not playing Palhinha. But then the left-hand side is still a little bit of an issue there. So either way, I didn't think Sarr, Spence were really that great today. Simmons, similarly, very quiet as well. I think, listen, I don't know. Some games he just needs to get more out of himself, especially a game like this. I would have thought, hey, you know what? You got Casemiro there. Show him you're the young gun. Show him you're the young blood. Show him you got more life in your legs than him. And I can't lie to you, Casemiro looked like he was dealing with him okay. So up until he came off, and then Tell himself came off. So it was, Simmons himself came off. So it was like, it is what it is. But I'm not too worried about Simmons. I can see the qualities there. I can see the abilities there. It's just a case of getting that consistency. But I really don't think Thomas helps him by dragging him off almost every game, man. Sometimes let him see out the 90 minutes. Even if you don't think he's having the best of games out there, I'm seeing Richarlison finish games regardless of situation. I'm seeing him get played in 2 or 3 different positions in a single game. I'm like, this guy is not that important to our side. Like, granted, he got the equalizers today, but that was a bit of luck, bro. 9 times out of 10, he's not getting on the end of that. So for me, I think Xavi should almost be given the same bit of grace. Like, he's someone who clearly you're going to be using for the long term. He's someone clearly who's going to be important to us for the next 2-3 years. I can see it frustrates him when he gets substituted because he's trying to build that rhythm. He's trying to build that momentum, but he can't do that if every game he's getting subbed off at the 55th, 65th minute. So you need to let him build that. But all in all, look, I feel like there's room to grow in this team. There's still things we need to work out. I thought there's a couple of positives definitely to take as well. Wilson Odobert continuing his good form. I thought great impact, great assist when he came on as well. Destiny Udogie continuing to show why he is the important part of that left-hand side, in my opinion. Also getting an assist as well. And then Tell. I thought Tell, this was a real, announce yourself type moment, bro. Because Kolo Muani got the start. Played well midweek as well. And you thought maybe deserved the goal. Started today. Got hooked at halftime. We saw Richarlison move to the middle. Wasn't that great. Tell came on. Gets his goal. And this is now 2 Premier League goals for him. 2 good Premier League goals as well. Listen, build on this, in my opinion. You know what I mean? As individuals, those boys coming off the bench, they got to build on this now at this point. And the only concern for me, honestly, walking away from this was the Romero injury. I think the last 2 games, today he was immense. I thought midweek he was incredible as well. There's a real sense of like assurance and comfortability I get when I see Romero in the back line. And when he's out, there's always that air of like, there's a bit of shakiness there. Like, I can't deny it. He's going to be a big loss. So I hope it's not a big injury. I hope it's one that he can kind of bounce back quick from. And hopefully get back to a regular, consistent Romero that we're so used to. But listen, where does that result leave us? 3rd in the table, 18 points, 11 games played so far, 5 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. You'd look at it and be like, you know what? Fuad, there's not really much to be upset about. But there are things beyond the surface that we definitely do need to take care of and we do need to address. Like, today was a game I felt like we could have won, but we just allowed them to control the first half. We allowed them to sneak back late into the game when that's really the time to batten down the hatches. So, listen, this next month, I've said it, This next month of fixtures is going to be a real test of this team. After this month is what we're really going to be looking at the squad and saying what they're really made of. Like, we got Arsenal next, obviously, after the international break. PSG in the Champions League. We got Newcastle away as well. And then throw in Fulham at home as well. Because, you know, against Fulham the last couple of years, it hasn't always been great. And then also at home, we haven't been great. 1 win so far. Not good enough, man. Not good enough. But listen, let me know your thoughts. I've rambled long enough. Let me know who you thought performed well. Let me know what you think Frank needs to tweak. Let me know what you thought of the overall performances as well. I'm sure United fans won't be happy with this result as well. But yes, that is all, guys. Smash a like if you can on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. I will be bringing you more stuff as well over the next coming weeks. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Till next time, take care.